Mix the hues, create those fuses you make. Throw it on, let's see what happens. This is fun, it's pure passion. The colors are bright, it's a sight to see. If we can do it, you can too. Just follow me.
Hey there YouTube, welcome back to Custom Carving, the home of all things carving, and now epoxy related as well. So if you saw the short that went out a few days ago with the pot noodle pot, this is what this video is going to be all about. So we had a pretty cool effect made as well. I'll let you in to a little secret before we start. But the end result is amazing. So this is going to be a bit of a step-by-step tutorial if you've not done canvases before, epoxy on canvas. So we'll go straight to the workshop. If you like it, like and subscribe the channel. We're up to nearly 4,500 subscribers now, which is amazing. The more we get, the more we can do on this channel. So look forward to talking you through it. Hope you enjoy the tutorial, and let's get straight to it. So just to let you know, I've already prepped the board. So just a coat of black acrylic paint and tape around the edges on this canvas. And then I've mixed some charcoal mica powder in with some clear resin. And I'm just spreading that first layer over the canvas. It's already given me some quite cool effects actually, which is just the charcoal mica powder. It's no special brand. It's just bought from Temu, as well as so's the resin. I am going to start trying some different brands though, because what I have found when I'm doing canvases is this particular brand of resin that I'm using from Temu seems to create more fish eyes than what I'd like in a finished product, unless it's got multiple layers. So I'm just getting the torch here, going over the edges, just to make sure that the whole canvas is covered. As you can see, it's already making some pretty cool effects with just the charcoal mica powder. But this first layer is just going to be the backdrop. Although I do get a little bit carried away, as I think a lot of us resin artists do, and actually thought I'd see what this would look like doing putting a design in it. So yeah, here's me just being a bit artistic, trying a few different swirls in it, just to see if that makes a difference to the effects of the mica powder in it, even though this is just meant to be the backdrop before we release the pot noodle grenade. I've also stopped playing the music in the background because I had a few comments saying that most of you found that a little bit annoying and would rather just have sort of this style of video with the voiceover. If that's not the case, let me know in comments. We're all about trying to please the subscribers, and the main thing is sharing the knowledge, and that includes the mistakes that we can all learn together on this journey. Just putting the heat gun over it. As you can see, though, those effects look really cool. Now, unfortunately, as the resin continues to spread and things like that, those effects don't actually tend to stay in. What I have learnt with doing these epoxy canvases, though, is if you do it at a late stage when the resin's part set, a lot more of those details actually stay in to the design. Just torching it now, any bubbles, to get rid of any bubbles. Always make sure, guys, when you work with resin as well, wear gloves, wear a respirator, because you don't want this stuff in your lungs. And there we go, essentially, that is the canvas. Now I've decided to add a little bit more clear on, just to try and get rid of some of those fish eyes that are already starting to form. I guess that I'd perhaps put a little bit too much, not enough resin down, but I'm also going to try and get carried away here with a bit of a design, so it's good to have another clear layer on top. So this is actually the next day after that first layer's cured. And again, same as the first one, just spreading it on, no particular way, but trying to get an even coat. And then I looked at this background and then I thought, wow, gold would really pop against the charcoal, and I wanted to see what it would look like. And if it came out really well, I was going to save this as a separate one and then just create another canvas, if you like, for it. So this is where I just got the gold mica powder, started being a little bit artsy fartsy, as I call it, and putting a few designs in, just trying to put very thin swirls through it, and you'll see this design develop, which I did actually like, but I still chose to use this canvas for the pot noodle pour in the end. But you'll see the best thing with resin is the more you play with it, the more you have fun with it, the more creative you are with it, the better your designs will get with it. And I mean, this to me, if I'd just left this like this and it dried like this, would look amazing in the right setting. So it can be very simple, and don't let anything put you off just trying it. It's not overly expensive if you get the materials from the right places, and it is fun. This is where I then decided it almost looked like a sun, so I wanted sort of almost like comets or tadpoles going towards that sun in the design. And again, this is all ad hoc. I hadn't pre-planned anything. It was just me having a bit of fun with the canvas because I actually like the effect that the charcoal had made. But some of these mica powders, they give you such an amazing color, and they don't cost an awful lot of money. So if you get them off places like Temu, I think you can get a pack of 20 different colors for around about £15 UK, which is around about $20. And just look at those colors. And the great thing with the mica powders is the different sort of effects that you actually get in the resin once it dries. I've got some alcohol inks on the way as well, so I'm going to be looking forward to doing a few projects mixing those with the mica to see what effects we can get. And as you can see, I went a little bit overboard at this point with the gold. As you can see, I love the gold. But this was where I started making some really cool, sort of interesting effects just through having those striped lines and then getting the popsicle stick and just moving it through the epoxy. And this one actually gave me an idea for a future project of a line thing, looking at the designs that it made. So again, just play around, have fun. But I think that looks so cool with that charcoal background and the brightness of the gold popping through and the different cells that have already formed. So next day comes along, I looked at it, you can see some of those effects have gone. So I thought, no, I am going to use it for the pot noodle. Now you'll notice that the pot is slightly different from at the start because me being me, tried to put it together with epoxy, and epoxy doesn't stick to plastic. So I took the center out, had a hole in it because I still wanted to try this grenade effect. So the colors that I'm going to be using, I'm just showing now. So blue, mid graphite, copper. Now this is an amazing copper color as well. Again, that's just from Temu. It's a pink or a red, I suppose you'd call it, a purple, and I've already mixed up some white and a little bit of charcoal. So the first thing I'm going to do now this is dried is just put another clear layer on. You should always do that when you're adding a layer just so that it spreads well. Um, but yeah, it's quite a bit of epoxy I'm using for this, but hopefully you'll agree it'll be worth it in the end. And I actually saw an acrylic pouring video which gave me the idea for this, and I thought, why waste a pot noodle pot if I can use it in a project? So just getting everything set up now. You won't know this, but I've got a very limited workspace. So half of the clear I'm actually pouring into the colours now, ready to mix, and the other half throwing on the canvas to create that next layer. And then I'm just going to spread it over the same as I have done in the previous ones. Always make sure you wear gloves and a respirator when you work with epoxy. So unfortunately, we're actually going to lose most of this background because I didn't realize how much of an effect this pot noodle grenade effect it was actually going to have. But I think you'll agree it was worth it in the end. So again, just using the heat gun, going over the epoxy just to heat it up a little bit and spread that thin layer that I've put down. Just mixing those colors. Again, really happy with these mica powders from Temu, guys. So I'm not an affiliate of theirs, but if there's a way to get things a little bit cheaper and the products actually work, I will always try and find that way. But again, these colors are really, really rich in color, and actually they seem to mix quite well. Here we go. Hot noodle time, the moment you've all been waiting for. Hopefully, it was worth it if you've been with me for the last 10 minutes. So, just really putting the colours in randomly, trying to keep them in the center of that pot with each layer. So, it creates almost a bit of a ring form, and trying to put more white in than anything else in between the different colours with a little bit of charcoal just to try and really blend it a little bit with everything that we've already done. No particular plan here. It's just to pour it in, see what happens, and have a pot noodle explosion spectacular. And you'll see what happens in a minute, but it's worth the wait. So I've left a little bit of the colours just in case I want to play about afterwards, but here we go, just lifting it up a little bit, and boom, look at that colour release. Really happy with that. And the colours that I've used seem to coordinate with each other. A little bit of epoxy left in the pot, so I just thought I would spread it round. I didn't think it would hurt the design doing it. But look at those mixes of colours and those cells already starting to form. And all this is mica powder. There's no alcohol pigments or anything like that. This is just mica powder. So now I'm just tipping it and trying to spread it around the canvas. And that what you'll find is that slightly stretches the design and the effect, which I actually really liked with this project. Now you will get some overspill. And what I try and do is save the overpour that has formed to use in future projects. So even broken up and put it in coasters with some clear resin, it means that you're not using as much of your resin and you're not wasting anything. But there we go, just moving the canvas around to cover all of the corners, all the way up to the edge. That's why you put the tape on. But look at those colours forming. It is almost like a metallic rainbow. It really is amazing. And even on the camera, it's not probably not showing them in the best light, but they are absolutely stunning. So at this point, I was really happy with the design. So I didn't really want to move it around too much more. So I decided to put the canvas back down. And now to get the heat gun on it, you have to warm everything through and ever so slightly move the colours around just so that they can start that moving process. Now, I could have left it at this point, and you know what? I probably would have been happy. And that's one of the problems that I find. I don't know if any of you guys do, but put it in comments if you do, is when to stop. And that's the thing. I think the creative part of us wants to keep going and wants to keep playing with it until we're 100%. And what I have found is you'll never be 100%. So here's me just using the rest of the epoxy that I had left after I've used that sort of pot noodle explosion to cover the canvas, just to try and play again and have a few sort of different plays with different designs. I've been watching a lot of acrylic paint pour videos trying to, I suppose, do similar effects with resin, but it's very difficult because of the thickness of the resin. Um, but again, it's just about being creative here and having fun. So here I am just, again, using the rest of the little bits of colour that I've got left in the corners. And I'm hoping to keep the bulk of it, that lovely background that we've made, but also get some pretty cool designs from these lines and striations that we've just put on. So again, just hitting it with the heat gun, making sure that nothing stays as a big bold line, because I think that would actually ruin it. And actually starting to put a bit of power into it and actually move that resin around. Almost waves of color is what I was looking for. Again, this is why you'll find you'll get quite a bit of overpour. I think I probably could have got away with a little bit less resin this time, but on previous pours that I've done, I've always done the opposite and done a few not enough. Now, this is me just playing with the popsicle stick. And what I really like about this is you'll see in the end finished canvas, some of these sort of lines and wispy lines that I've created actually seem to stay in, which I'm really happy about because I think it actually adds to the piece when you actually look at it. Almost wanted to create, I suppose, a jellyfish-like structure here, or a creature with tentacles, just with just playing with it and sort of what my mind was going to at this point. I think that's the whole thing with art. It can be anything you want it to be, and don't be scared to do it. You know, if it doesn't turn out, put another layer on. That's the beauty of epoxy, is you can always add another layer if you're not happy with the result. Just adding the last few drops of white as well, and seeing if I could do a bit of a skim to see if that would create any more cells in this corner. I am going to be trying in a future experiment as well. I've ordered some different oils which I've seen used to create more cells with epoxy. So again, we'll see how those go. Again, make sure you use your blowtorch just to pop any bubbles on the surface. But look at this. I'm really happy with this at this point. And I'm just hoping that some of those come through to the end product. And it all started with a pot noodle. I actually saw an acrylic pour effect called the grenade effect. And I thought, you know what, I can do that with a pot noodle. And I think it would look amazing in epoxy. And I think you'll agree. The moment, this is looking pretty good. So, gonna leave it. Again, when you do leave these to cure, make sure you've got them in sort of a container where they're not going to get any dust in them. And there we have it, guys. Pretty much the finished product. I'm going to show it you on the wall as well. If you've liked this video, then please stay tuned for more tutorials. If you like epoxy or if you like wood carving, everything you can do helps, whether it's a comment, whether it's a share, to grow this channel. But there it is, the finished product. Love it. So again, like and subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one. And thanks for watching, especially if you stay till the end. Appreciate you all.
Mix the hues, create those fuses you make. Throw it on, let's see what happens.